Insights with Terri Ep.212, a weekly look through the eyes of predictive astrologer Terri Ep.212. Here's Terri.
Hi everyone, this is Terri, and you're listening to Insights with Terri Ep.212. Thank you for joining me to explore together the week of March the 30th, all the way through to, April the 6th. Yep, we're coming into spring. Actually, the day that I'm doing this, it was just beautiful. It was 66 Fahrenheit, I think, is what the temperature reached. A little bit of rain spattering here and there, but it's just nice. And the frogs are frogging out there. They sound so wonderful. So nice to hear the sounds of spring, the red-winged blackbirds, the robins. Cardinals are going crazy. Yep, I do like spring. Speaking of spring, Aries is still in that sun sign, and Aries usually, by the universe's standard, nature's standard for our zone, is April, because that's when everything is born. So that's really, really technically the beginning of the year. January, the way humans look at it, is really the end of the year. It's the tying up. Everything's asleep. Everything has done what it needed to do in the summer and the fall, got ready for the winter, and now it's asleep, ready to join the ranks of all that blooming everything in the spring. And that's where we are right now. So we've passed March the 21st and we're headed into spring. Now that Aries energy, and I've talked about this before, we have to be careful because Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars can be the god of war, red, angry, impulsive. So we have so much going on, and if you look around, there are some very angry, impulsive critters. They're human and furry and feathered, and so just keep an eye, and maybe if you are conscious of that, you can take your energy and help smooth it out a little bit. And we're still in that Mercury retrograde. And it's been a lulu. It's been a lulu for everybody, myself included, knowing it was coming, but still having to experience it. And on the 31st of this week, it will go backwards from Aries into Pisces. So that Pisces energy is fluid. Now going backwards, it's not the best experience that we can have, but it's really good for looking back and seeing where could we improve, what went wrong, how did it go wrong, maybe we missed an opportunity, is there a way to do it a little bit better for the future. Retrograde has its own good things, kind of going through the drawers, going through old clothes, going through the dog collars, dog toys, dog blankets, what do I need to get rid of? And then Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and attraction, is in Pisces as well, and it's going retrograde. Not the best energy for relationships moving forward, but as I said, it's good to look on it with a backward inflection, retro, meaning is there anything in the relationship that I'm missing? Is there anything, am I helping this relationship to look forward to the future? What can I do to make this better? Am I mindful of my partner? Do I treat my partner well? Am I cognizant of what my partner needs, or do I just assume that I know what my partner needs? So this retrograde can bring to the surface, if it's a pimple ready to bust, and then once it busts, the pain getting there relieves the pressure like an abscess. Talking about a relationship, right? So it might bring things that might have been toxic to the surface, allowing the pain to identify it, and it hurts there when I touch it. So if I poke this bear in that particular psychology or that particular location, this is what we're dealing with. How can I fix it? How can I make it better? Moving into Mars, that's in Cancer, and Cancer is love and family and relationships and loyalty and compassion. So we're pairing all of that so that we can really look at things and really put ourselves in a much better situation if that's what our intention is. So it's a good energy field to really look back, to discover, to rediscover things, and then release what we need to release, and then move forward with our goals. Perfect for all of that. The number that was given to us is the number 6, and that's choices. Oftentimes number 6 is choices. When you pair it with what we have here, we will be offered choices. What is the decision that's right? And many of us are going to be facing emerging opportunities, and with that comes a choice. Which way do I want to go? How do I want to handle that? Romantic relationships, family, home, we know that oftentimes that can be the foundations for success, and that's what number 6 offers us. How can we look at maybe a new romantic relationship, or one that we want to make romantic with that retrograde? How do I bring our family together, make it better, make it more wonderful? How do I look at my home? How do I make my home homier? All of that are foundations for success and moving forward. Helping others. Number 6 wants us to help others. What can I do to be of service to another person? Is there something that I could offer this person that would make their journey a little bit easier? We will feel a need for a partner that meets our expectations with the number 6. So we have to know what our expectations are so that we can define it, communicate it, and help both ourselves with them and them with us. So you can't ask something of a person if you don't know what you need. And so this is how we get specific so that we can communicate to each other what we need in the relationship. And same with the dogs, right? I've got a new dog in that is having to adjust to our pack way of life. His nerves are running up and down the outside of his clothes, no fault of anybody's. His needs, what this dog needed, wasn't met. Not because it wasn't loved, not because this dog, everything that they could possibly have given this dog, they did, and then some. But what the dog actually needed wasn't fulfilled. So then the dog started to fall apart. And so as the dog got worse and worse and worse, then it becomes, you can't manage it. You can't live with that type of behavior. They're supposed to be a nice addition, not a hair tearing out kind of thing. So this very nervous dog with pupils that are the size of saucers, fearful, there's no confidence. This dog has not an ounce of confidence in its little body. Separation anxiety to the moon and back. And so now what we're doing is taking him off all of the medications that hide the problem, give us a temporary relief, but doesn't fix the problem. So all of us are being asked to do this kind of stuff for ourselves as well. And then dig it up and find out what the problem is. So for this particular dog, he needs to work. Not just running around playing like an idiot. He needs a job. He needs to keep his mind occupied. He needs boundaries. He needs to be told, you can't crawl all over me. He needs to be told, you can't bite me. Just because you're worried and you're not sure what to do with it, you cannot open your mouth on me. But that's fear that's causing him to do that. And the fear comes from, I'm not confident because I don't know what is expected of me. And then that's the separation anxiety. Please, 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 please. All right. So with that, now we're starting to instill confidence by exercising and making tired, taking away the chemicals, giving good food, good food, good camaraderie with the pack. Nice, balanced dogs show how to be a balanced person. So people in our lives, around our lives, that we admire, that inspire us, we can look to them for our confidence, for our inspiration, our creative way of behaving. And that's what this dog is going to hopefully benefit from, and as we can. So I look around, for instance, for me, my uncle is 104, and I have so much respect for him. I mean, he's so lucid. And at 104, he certainly has stuff to share. And so he's my inspiration. He's my strength. I look at how he handled life, going backwards with the retrogrades. What issues did he go through that he overcame? I mean, living here 100 years, he has seen World War I, World War II. He has gone through many recessions and he's gone through the Depression. He's gone through a lot. And he's still powerful. So I can pull from that. I can learn from that. And that's what these retrogrades are supposed to be offering us. And we have to be very careful not to let that impulsive red anger of Aries and Mars turn us in a wrong direction. Now, the beginning of the week, vulnerability in our bodies may be the neck, the vocal cords, the throat, the thyroid. Then it moves down to the lungs, which I'm already dealing with. I'm hoping for just please give me 10 minutes of not coughing. So the lungs, the bronchial tubes can be affected, and then that moves shoulders and arms. And this is the middle of the week, and this is general, remember. And then towards the end of the week, it can move the vulnerable parts of the stomach, the mucosa, and any of the female organs. So that's where our vulnerability lies this week. The cards that were given to us is it kind of interesting. They're not all over the map. There's quite an order to them. A lot of soul cards. The Ace of Hearts, which is unconditional love, is upside down, which means a lot of our love, what we intend to offer as unconditional love, is upside down, which means to be accepted, to be respected, to be cared for, there are conditions. So if you look at some of the politics that's going around, the conditional acceptance, for instance, of the United States for Canada would be on conditions that we comply, or we kneel, or we genuflect. So it's kind of an interesting energy. So then look at your own relationships. Am I in a conditional relationship at this point? Are there conditions on it? Do I not get the love that I need if I behave a certain way? Am I afraid to gently speak my truth because then maybe I won't be supported, or I won't be loved, or they'll withhold love from me? So we have to look at that. That will be a vulnerability for some of us this week. Also, there may be some misgivings for us and delays. That can cause some pooping out, when we're all ready to go and we're all ready to challenge it and hit this thing running, and then it doesn't happen because it's in delay, and then it's in delay again, then it's in delay again. That can help us to lose interest, maybe lose some of our verve, and that lack of activity can even contribute to us going the wrong way or making the wrong decisions. And as I said, with that number 6, some of us will be required to make some decisions in the face of some things that are coming at us. So that can contribute to us feeling overwhelmed and disillusioned. So we have to look at that. So we'll have to marshal our energies, try to tap in positively to that Mars, which is our energy planet, and see if we can take those energies and push them to where we need to go to see what is my potential. And if that's my potential, how do I handle it? How do I make that the best thing that I can possibly do? Now, the next energy field that they're offering is recognizing, both with spring, right, and a lot of things that are coming, changes in the air. So we're entering an energy field where we can smell, taste, feel, hear the changes that are coming. This can create a lot of creative energy. And it's really important that we look at things as, is this going to be a new enterprise for me? Is this going to be meeting new people? Is this, going to offer new ideas, new experiences? I got to watch that I'm not impetuous, but ready to take things on. And if we're supposed to settle down during this time, it isn't going to be easy. We more or less don't want to settle down. We get fidgety, we get agitated, it's an energy field that makes us feel like we want restless. That's the word I'm searching for. And then we've got to be really working on keeping our mind in balance. So one of the energy fields is, it's going to be a struggle for some of us to keep our mind balanced. It might be that we can't watch too much TV, or we can't watch too much of this because we can't do it. So try to stay in the middle of the road if you can. A lot of 2s came up. Some of the 2s are upside down, some of the 2s are right side up. But 2 in numerology is formation. and duality and trying to achieve balance if we can. So it's a relationship between two objects. 1, 2. That's what number 2 is in numerology. So trying to find the center, trying to find the middle ground, trying to combine the forces so we're in the dead center. So that makes it much more powerful and more able to keep us on the straight and narrow, so to speak. One of the cards that I'm a little concerned of is the sun. And the sun is a major card, and that came up upside down. So when the sun is warm, right? It's supposed to make us feel warm and fuzzy and happy and wonderful. And when it comes upside down, this morning was a good example. It was mild and balmy out. But when the sun came out in the morning, it was absolutely stunningly beautiful. It just felt so good, that warm sun, that warm temperature. And then the sun slowly started to give way to the purple clouds that were moving in from Amherstburg, coming my way. So it was a wind that was blowing them, and then the sun was gone, and then the little bits of spits and rain. It was still warm. It was still the same day, but it didn't have the same feeling. And so this card has come up upside down for us, which means that we may look at some of the things in our lives as delayed, as I said earlier, and this is compounding it, or as a partial success. So we have to look at this. We have to look at, if it's a partial success, what would success look to us? What does it look like for us? We have to be very careful of boasting or vanity, being ostentatious, and arrogance, egotistical, problems with maybe narrow viewpoints, or narcissistic, maybe excessive concern with our external appearances or how people view us externally. And that's ego, negative thinking, feeling like a failure, pessimism, depression, and that can come into ill health. So I think I just described Trump. Sorry, I really meant to do a whole 10 minutes of not saying his name. Guess I'm just weak and self-serving. So we want to stay away from those type of characteristics, and we don't want to be drawn into them and by them, and we want to be aware of them so we don't become that. We look at community. We look at loving each other. We look at how can we combine forces. How can we make everybody be better, feel better, do better. If they do better, we do better. We're all connected. On that note, I just want you to know that speaking of doing better and helping people, I want to thank Charlie O'Brien for helping us get these podcasts out. He puts us on Spotify, on Apple iTunes, on Amazon Music, SoundCloud, YouTube. He did create the website, www.terriworld.com, which is going to go to sleep in the middle of April. I'm going to, we're going to take that website down. I think it's redundant now. Everybody's moving on to different platforms, and the cost of doing that doesn't seem to justify it. So that will be a thing of the past, one of the retrograde things. So if you want to take a look at it before it dies, a quiet, silent death, you're welcome to do it and see pictures of the dogs. If you need a reading for yourself, I would be so happy to do that for you. And if you needed help with your animal, your horse, your dog, your cat, please let me have the opportunity of working with that. You can text or call 519-726-6699, or you can email me at terri.coutts@gmail.com. Again, I want to thank all of you for your time and listening to this, and Charlie O'Brien for putting this up for us. I'm very, very grateful to all of you. And don't forget the Big 8 radio, right? The 50s, the 60s, and the 70s. Who can feel sad, down, lack of energy when all those great sounds come on? And if you want to treat yourself to something, treat yourself to Charlie's voice. Alrighty, thanks everybody. Have a wonderful week. We'll talk soon. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Insights with Terri Ep.212. Visit Terri's website at terriworld.com. TERRI world.com.